Yo, people, I want to hit you guys with a quick video. I just took a look at the wealth statistics just to refresh my brain about why I shouldn't put money first. Because once you understand money, then you understand the people behind the money. Then you understand why money is made to seem like it's more important than it really is. Money is nothing more than a tool of control. And the average man, including myself, we're going to spend our entire lives chasing that money just not to have enough. I wrote that on my notepad a few days ago because I was getting angry because, sometimes I try to distract myself from the truth because every day I face the reality that every single day I wake up to chase money, to get money. Even on the days I want to take a break, I feel like I need to go get that money. That's how programmed I am. I know that the money is doing me a disservice in the long run. Yet I'm so entrenched in this program and it has such a bind on me that I feel like I need to chase it even when I don't need it in that particular moment. It's deep. They programmed me from young to be a factory worker. Study the Prussian model. We took our school system from the Prussians. The Prussians developed a system to turn their citizens into obedient soldiers and obedient workers. America said we need that because we need obedient soldiers and obedient factory workers. The mothers, the fathers, and the children. We need yes men, yes women who ain't gonna question nothing. You're gonna do what we say. And that's why they get you when you are helpless, when you a child, when you a baby, when you don't know nothing about nothing. You in the monkey see, monkey do phase. So every day that I wake up, I know that I'm just the average man. And I know that the average man is living just like me, spending most of his waking hours working jobs he don't want to work, working jobs that's soul crushing, just so he can feed himself and his family. Every time that I think about it as a young man, I know what I'm literally signing myself up for, and I just gotta walk into it. Because as long as my fellow man ignores or doesn't know what I know, this perspective that me and other people have on this money, how it's a tool of control and how it's not helping us as a society, as a collective, it's only benefiting the small group of people who have it and control it all. I'm destined for slavery, just like everybody else. Now, of course, I can always clock back, but I want a family. I live with a family. I can't just clock back. So I'm forced to live this way until my fellow man wakes up and collects this knowledge. And like I said, I've been trying to hide from this because every day I face it. But sometimes I don't like to revisit the statistics because it just makes me angry that I got to deal with this nonsense every single day. And that the people around me, the closest people around me, don't even realize that this money is nothing more than a trap. It's a piece of paper. Do not build your value. Do not build your life around a piece of paper. It is artificial. It doesn't exist in nature. So if you're building your whole personality behind money, if you're building your whole life around money, when you have money, now you feel like a man. When you have money, now you feel like a woman. You are artificial because you are basing your value off an artificial product. It is not natural. It is man-made to the max. It doesn't exist in nature anywhere. Food exists, water exists, clothes exist, air exists. Money doesn't exist. This is why they have to put something artificial that you can't control and you will never be able to control or accumulate enough of in between the resources. Every day I walk in the store, I see fruits and vegetables, I see food. But I can't access this food. I don't even know where the hell this food, I know where it comes from, but I can't see it. But in order to access this food, even though it's right in front of me, I gotta have a piece of paper, toilet paper. And if I don't got enough, I can't buy the food. What type of world are we living in where we can have all of this food coming in from all over the place, but you can't get it if you don't got toilet paper? Working a job you don't really want to work. Working a job really and truly doesn't matter on a grand scale. It's just to keep you busy, just like in school. When you go to school for 6 to 8 hours on average from elementary to high school, just to come home and do homework. You just trying to keep me busy. Didn't you just keep me in a brick building like a prison for 6 hours and I only get to play for like 30 minutes to an hour? Huh? And I go through that for about 16 to 18 years, and you go to college, you just come out of debt, and then you go into the workforce. So I spent all of these years in school with box-like thinking. You don't teach me nothing about nature. You don't teach me nothing about how man is supposed to eat and live. You don't teach me nothing about nothing. Just to put me in a box and send me off to work. Let's talk about the statistics, because I wasn't even supposed to talk like this, but I had to. In 2024, listen closely. The top 10% of the wealth holders control 76 to 80% of the total wealth. So the top 10%, this is globally, control roughly 75 to 80% of the total wealth. The top 1% alone holds around 45 to 50% of the global wealth. So 1% of the global population controls almost half of the global wealth. Wow, that is a lot of power. That's enough money to have for generations upon generations, man. They will never run out of money. They won't have to work like you, because they're going to make that money, give you that money, and you're going to do anything for money because you are programmed. And a lot of us are immoral, and we're going to slave away for that money. Keep making more money for them. The bottom 50% of the population owns less than 2% of the total wealth. So 50% of the people in this world are fighting for 2% of the wealth. 10% of the wealth holders own 75 to 80% of the wealth. And the 1% out of that 10% own half of it. So everybody in that 90%, you are fighting for scraps. Once you put that image in your head, I'm telling you, just go look up a chart. It's going to be like this to this, and this is you, and this is them. They have all of this wealth while you're fighting for this little wealth down here. This is you, this is them. Look at that big gap of money. This is you, though. This is you down here, and this is them. That little 10% up there. The 90% are fighting for this. The 10% got all of this. So the 10% will always throw money down at the 90%, and the 90% gonna sit there and fight for it. They're never gonna escape. As long as the money system is here, you're never gonna escape. Now, of course, you might have them small, select few people who will escape, who will become maybe better than the 90. Maybe they won't be the 10%, but they're gonna be much higher than you. They won't have to work as much as you. But most of them are going to stay down with the 90% fighting over scraps. And that's your reality. And that's just a symptom of the root cause. The root cause is that man is sick in his mind. Because if man was thinking properly, he would perceive the world properly. He would realize this world is in abundance. This world is forever given and is free. We just got to take care of it. But no, man is sick. Man is not thinking properly, so man is not perceiving the world properly, so man is not giving the world the right input. What he's putting in the world is wrong. We have the wrong behavior because we are not thinking properly. This is why man preys upon man. Man programs his fellow man to praise artificial paper, to keep him in between the real value in the world, which is humans first. Humans are valuable. Food is valuable. Air is valuable. Water is valuable. Now it makes sense why they poison your food, water, and air to poison the most valuable thing on the earth, which is the human. And as long as everything you need is poisoned, you are not going to be thinking right because you're not getting the right input, like a computer with a virus that is acting up, which is behaving slow. And since you're slow, you don't know how to behave, you don't know how to live, you don't know how to think. That allows another man who is above you, the 1%, who has all the money, who is taking care of himself, who has knowledge of self. He knows Mother Nature. He knows the laws of the universe because he is taught that in his schools. But in your schools, you're not taught the laws of the universe. No, you're not taught about yourself. You're not taught to align with nature and don't go against nature, because once you go against nature, which is going against yourself, because we're all part of nature together, we're all in this universe together, we all must find a way to coexist simply by living natural. Since you don't know that, you're going to always have problems. And the man at the top is always going to be leading you because you don't know nothing. And since you don't know nothing, you're going to go for anything. So you see, this is greater than just money. This is about man's brain. Money is just a symptom. This is why I don't even like talking about money as much anymore, because I know it's just a symptom. I don't need a hyper focus on it. Fixing the money, although it could help us, fixing the money is impossible, because the people who are going to fix it, they're not thinking right. So unless we're going to have a strong man with good morals and is ready to die to try to take over the country and get out the corrupt people who are running the country and take us to a debt-free system, eventually we're going to go into a debt-free system and realize we don't even really need this money. We don't need to be exchanging. We should be giving. We should come together, take care of the land so the land can take care of us. Every time I go to the store, I just wonder, all of these fruits and vegetables, where is it coming from? I know where it's coming from, but how do they just keep getting it here? Why is this not growing in our neighborhood? Every time that I drive around and I look at the amount of land that is just empty, I'm thinking in my head, why is there's no fruit trees here? Why are vegetables not growing here? Why are animals not being raised here? You know, we got 22 million workers in the healthcare field. 80% of them are women. The healthcare system is not doing us any services. Most of you there are working are actually useless. Let's call it assisted death. You are assisting us in killing ourselves. Instead of telling us our essential needs, telling us how to live, how to eat, how to think, how to behave, you drug us because you don't know nothing. Why? Because you came from the same schools that are being controlled by that 10% who don't want the 90% to know nothing. This is why your doctor is nothing but a yes man. He doesn't even question his own system. He just gives you drugs. He looks at your body. He sees symptoms. Instead of realizing that the body is trying to adapt, trying to get rid of something, trying to heal itself, the doctor says, okay, you got this symptom. Let's put a dirty name on you, like diabetes, like pre-diabetes, like measles. Show me where measles is. It's never been isolated. It's never been isolated. And before you said it has been isolated, look up their definition of isolation. Look up how they isolate, because they don't isolate nothing. They add a whole bunch of dead flesh in a cell culture and call it a virus. But you didn't isolate it. You threw on a whole bunch of dead flesh and then called it a virus and said you isolated. That is not isolation. Isolation means one, stand alone, isolated, not adding things together. No, it's not isolation. So it's a fraud. So when you start looking, just all you got to do is start in one area. I started in health because I was pre-diabetic all of my life, and everybody around me was telling me it's genetics. I go to the doctors, they're talking about drugs. I said, no, I'm not going with none of that, because I learned as long as I think like the masses, I'm going to behave like the masses and I'm going to get mass results. And the masses ain't thinking right. So they ain't behaving right and they ain't getting the right results. So I said, no, I'm going to go the other way. And I slowly took myself the other way until I realized they all the way on the right and I'm all the way on the left. And I'm not talking about left, right like politics. That's a symptom. That's a distraction. That's a tool. That's a control mechanism. That's bullshit. Meant to keep you distracted from what's really going on. They are choking us. The system is meant to deprive you. For my family, this is what hurts my heart. Is that I know I want to have a big family. And unfortunately, the women don't realize they are living their lives backwards. And everything around them, including the women around them, are reinforcing that backwards, perverted, Satanist way of thinking. You see, Satan perverts everything. Upside down triangle. Turn the man upside down, turn him into a woman, turn him into feminine, make his digging stick shrink, make sure his digging stick doesn't even rise up. That's not natural. Make sure the woman's libido is crucified. Talk down on her for having a healthy libido. Matter of fact, make sure she doesn't even have a libido. Matter of fact, make sure whether she has it or not, she's not going to be on the home to express that libido. She's going to be working like a man. Instead of her spending her young years learning about herself, thriving her feminine nature. You know, Mother Nature is feminine. She's forever giving. She's a giver. She's a nurturer. She wants to take care of you as long as you take care of her. She's not taught that. She's not taught about her reproductive system. So she's sitting there bleeding like a pig, getting tortured by her own body. It's her body letting her know that she's doing something wrong, but she don't know that because all the other girls don't know nothing because your mama ain't know nothing. Hmm? Your mama was just working, and you're going to be just like your mama, working. Is it your fault? No, it's not. The people before us failed. They got misled. They took the woman out of the home. They gave her rights. Not saying that she should have never had rights. We're all human here. I'm no better than you. We all human. We all have inherent rights. But then we allowed man to come in and twist it all up. So now the woman is out of the house. She got to go work. Now, who gonna take care of the children? The big old state, the Prussian model gonna take care of your children. Turn this little boy, turn this little girl into an obedient soldier, obedient worker. So now you're gonna be just like mama and daddy. And you're gonna create, you're gonna duplicate, just like a franchise, a family of workers. Where the dad is not only in the house, not in the house, mama is not in the house. So now you gotta send your children to the school system where we're gonna program them again. We're just building generations of slaves. And they don't even realize they slaves. And the ones who do, they don't realize why they're slaves. So you'll never get down to the solution. I figured it out. This is why every time I think about this information, how can I not be mad? How can I not express myself like a madman? I'm mad. I'm 24 years old and I done figured it out. I'm young. I'm young. I'm a baby in the field. There's men who are 40. There are women who are 40 who still haven't figured it out. What am I supposed to do? My own elders can't figure it out. They don't got nothing for me. I wasn't raised, and I don't even want to get personal with it. This was about money, but you see, it's greater than money. I want you guys to really start analyzing this world. But before you can analyze the world, you must analyze yourself, because that's what I did. I started with self, because I understanding myself is the most important thing, because I'm not too different from everybody around me. So once I understand myself, everybody else will start making sense. We all unique, though. It's like looking at birds. When I watch birds, from a distance, they all look the same. But I bet if I get very close, the birds are going to start looking different. They all unique. The same way if I get on the top of the mountain, I look at a whole bunch of humans at the bottom, all of them look the same from afar. But when I get close, oh, he has a different nose. Oh, they have different skin. Oh, their hair texture is different. This person smells different from this person. Oh, this person's ear is a little bit smaller than this. Their teeth is a little different. Maybe they designed to eat this type of food more than that person. So you start figuring things out. But behind this flesh, we really all the same. We got the same emotions, the same chemicals, the same hormones, the same blood. We all blood. We all shit and piss. We all cry. We all like sex. We're not too different. But they try to make it seem like we different. They try to divide and conquer. That's Pharaoh's favorite tactic. Make the slaves fight amongst themselves so they never realize who's the one enslaving them. They too busy punching on each other. But when the slaves come together, ooh, that's dangerous. Who are the slaves in this money game? It's you, the 90%. 90% of the people are fighting for scrappies. So when the 90% wakes up and says, nah, I'm not fighting for scrappies no more. What is the 10% going to do? The 10% is rich because the 90% works for them. You see, you never want to give a worker boss education. No. You don't want to do that. He's not going to want to be a worker no more. He has a boss mindset now. I can't work. No way I'm going to work over my dead body. You don't want to give a potential boss a worker's education. No. You see, Donald Trump wasn't trained like you. He wouldn't be Donald Trump. Donald Trump children wasn't raised like you. they wouldn't be Donald Trump's children. They wouldn't be anything great. If you are educated like the regular man, you're going to be regular. You're not meant to be great. You got to step out of that box. It is a box. It is meant to keep you rigid, like a brick on a pyramid. It can't move. You know what Bruce Lee said? You got to be formless like water. You got to be able to shift. You got to go this way to that way because that's nature. You got to shift. Nature is free. It's not rigid. It's free. When I'm out there, I'm supposed to be naked. I didn't come out the womb with clothes. I'm domesticated. When I sit in chairs for too long, I get stiff. I can feel pain. I know I'm not supposed to be sitting this long. You know, I got away from my bed because I feel better sleeping on the floor. There's no bed in nature. The bed is the ground that I'm supposed to touch with bare feet. So I can feel that grass massaging my legs, massaging my bottom of my feet, keeping my toes alive, keeping the bottom of my foot alive. But they want to put me in souls. Why you want to put my foot in a soul? You trying to capture my soul? I don't know. You know, maybe I got to start studying these words, man. When I learned that religion, I think it came derived from the word religare, which in Latin means to tie back. Yeah, I think it means to tie back. Come on, man. How am I losing it, man? Let me look this up, man. It's live. It's live. What does religion mean in Latin? There we go. Regagare, meaning to bind or to tie. Huh? Bind or to tie. You know, I see religion nothing more than a box. Now, originally, I think it was meant to teach you how to live, teach you how to eat properly, to tie you back with nature, to tie you back with yourself. But nowadays, when I look at the statistics, 80% of the entire world's population is affiliated with one religion or another. And the top two is Christianity and Muslim. But when I look at the world, I'm like, are these people following their teachings? Because the world is in turmoil. The world looks like it's backwards. So what are these religions teaching? I don't think they're teaching much. I don't think they're teaching you the right things. I think your religion been infiltrated, just like everything else. The food is infiltrated, the air is infiltrated. You are being infiltrated. You are literally being hacked. You see why I wear these glasses? Because I understand that this phone is the damage in my eyes. It's messing up my circadian rhythm. Now, luckily, I'm strong enough to combat that. But as I get older, if I keep playing around with this phone, man, I won't be strong. But luckily, I eat the right food, so I will live a long life. But this phone, man, I don't want to demonize the phone because without this phone, I wouldn't be able to communicate with you. Without this phone, I wouldn't be able to find this information. Without this phone, I'll be honest, I wouldn't be the man that I am today because there was a lot of good information that people around me didn't have because they're limited. But despite this phone being around, people are still sleeping. Now I can see from the internet there are people waking up, but is it enough? We need more people to take action. Because as long as that 90% is still fighting for scraps, getting their soul sucked, getting all of their energy sucked, you're never going to have time to actually improve yourself and try to improve the world. You're too busy working for $1, a piece of paper, just to accumulate, just to exchange it for little resources, man. It's pathetic. It really makes me want to cry from within. Instead of crying, I get angry about it. But it's nothing more than emotions. My emotions have been to guide me. So I want you to feel something. I want you to look at the statistic and say, nah, what can I do to change that? Educate yourself. Change yourself first, then help the people around you. But unfortunately, once you start figuring out the truth and you try to awaken people, they don't want to be awakened because they've been institutionalized. You see the word institutionalized is not changed from institution. It's the same motherfucking word. You know them boys in the jailhouse. They institutionalized. You take them out to prison, the prison is still in them anywhere they go. You're no different when you go to the school institution, the medical institution. Listen, your doctor, your nurse, you're nothing more than a drug dealer. You spent all them years in school just to come out of debt, just to prescribe people drugs for money. You're immoral and you're disconnected. You want to know why you're disconnected? Because when somebody comes to you, put a dirty name on them. Instead of helping this person, you drug them. Would you drug yourself, fool? Now you probably will because you're disconnected. So when I think about things like that, when I see things like that, when these things are around me, when the people close to me engage in this type of behavior, it makes me seriously angry. But I got to remember, it took me 6 years to get to this point, and I'm still learning. So I can't expect this person to jump on the wagon in a few days, in a few weeks, in a few months, even in a few years. But I need to see progress, because if not, that's chop season, because you're hurting my soul, because I'm awakened. At the same time, based on Jesus said, listen, I'm not Christian. I'm not religious. I do believe it's a higher power. I just don't know who it is. So I take it upon myself to live as natural as possible, to live the way I was intended to live, the way whoever our creator is, he developed me, he made me to live this way. So I'm gonna respect him by living this way and aligning myself with nature. But Jesus himself, he was a good man. He was a serious man, but he was a good man. He gave people chances. At the same time, you ain't gonna step on his head because he's gonna step on yours. He wasn't a violent man, but he spoke his piece. He spoke what he needed to speak. So I try my best to do the same. It's hard having the people closest to you. You show them the proof, but they still want to live in denial. Because I have to admit, it's easier to live it in lies. My life, spiritually, physically, mentally, was easier when I was living in lies. It's not like I feel better, but the burden is bigger because now I know this information. Like, I can't run from it. I can't say that I'm ignorant because I'm not ignorant. I know these things. So when I engage in certain behaviors and I see it, and it makes me emotional inside. It creates a fire. Sometimes it creates a waterfall because I know we can be so much better. We have so much potential, but people don't see the light within them. I remember 2 years ago, I said, you know what? I'm going to try my best to see the light in everyone because I know everyone got it. They may not be expressing it in this very moment, but I understand the environment is what molds us. You see, they tricked us. They lied to us. I don't want to say lie, but I want to say lie. They manipulated us into giving power into things we cannot control. Listen, I understand genetics, but you can't control it. It's here. Your blueprint is here. That's what I really meant. Your mother, your father made you. You couldn't choose that. You can't control it. What you can control is how your genes is going to express, because I believe you can rewrite your genes. You want to know I know that? I didn't come out the womb with big muscles. I didn't come out the womb extremely fast. I didn't come out the womb thinking like this. I didn't come out the womb just talking like this. I programmed myself deliberately to be like this because I understand that we're all programmable. You see, I had a stage in my life where I used to listen to death music. I used to smoke a lot of weed. I never was into drinking because I never liked the after effect. I used to bang a lot of thotties. Oh yeah, I used to be a degenerate. I used to watch porn. I used to be in the underground world. I wasn't in it, but I was in the surface watching because I could never really bring myself that low. I had morals installed in me, but I was a low thinking being at a time. Even though I knew consciously that I was doing wrong, I used to tell myself, why am I? But I just kept doing it because I had other things influencing me to go that low. But naturally, if I take myself out of these environments and drugs, my body is going to revert to where it's supposed to be. And when I stepped away from the environment, when I finally took the initiative to look in the mirror and tell myself the truth, if I continue living like this, I ain't going to live a good life. I ain't going to live long. I'm going to die or be in jail. I don't want any of those outcomes. So I said, I got to step back. And I told all my guys, I told the chicks, listen, I'm not living like that. I'm not partying. I'm not smoking. I'm not hanging with. I'm not doing none of this. I'm not rapping. I'm not doing none of this no more. If you with that with me, come on, come along. If you want to live the other way, sayonara. I can't do it, bro. I can't have the influence around me. And even the dudes who came with me, I had to isolate myself just to have some time to reflect on my life, to to reform my life, build a plan. And I started with 6 months plan, and I said every day I'm gonna improve 1% mentally, physically, spiritually, financially, and religiously. Even though I'm not religion, I added that for other people. So when I talk to them, they can relate, because a lot of people are religious dog brains. I mean, oh my goodness. If you don't mention religion, they can't really operate. And that's a box. But I see it. It's a way to reconnect. It's just the way that they're doing it now is very manipulative and very snake-like. You know, it's like that snake in the grass. You got to cut the grass low to see the snake, because if you don't cut the grass, you're going to walk and get bit. You got tricked, you got lured in, you got bit, you got snaked, you got rattled. But anyway, you know, once I was able to confront myself, that journey started 6 years ago, and every day I'm looking for a way to improve. But I ain't gonna lie, as you go on, you do get beat down a bit. Your sword gets rusted. It gets sharpened, but it get rusted. It get rigid a little bit, and you gotta resharpen it. You gotta oil that joint up and make sure that it's cutting properly. I can still cut wood, cool, you know. So I gotta G-check myself every day, because there's some days where I'm so entrenched in this life, I can feel the pain that the earth is going to. I can feel the pain of other people, and the pain swallows me up, and now I start acting like them. But then I gotta recalibrate. I gotta G-check myself. I gotta pop that engine. I gotta refill the oil, because the car ain't acting right. I gotta start eating properly. I gotta look in the sun. I gotta breathe some air. I gotta rest my body. I gotta meditate. I gotta close my eyes and just rest and just be quiet. Make sure that my mind is connected. I got the left, I got the right. I gotta balance that joint. I don't want to be too far here. I don't want to be too far here. I don't want to be too manly. Without thinking, I want to break shit. Straight testosterone, all burn, no break. But I don't want to be too docile. I don't want to be, oh, it's gonna be okay. I don't want to be feminine, too feminine. I want to be both in one. Of course, I want to lean a little bit here though, because men's and men, but I want to have both. I want to be able to feel. I want to know when to be peaceful, when to come to you and talk to you like this. At the same time, when that option is not working, sometimes I just gotta come around and just karate chop your neck. I don't even want to touch you, because I understand there's a law, the law of self-defense. Don't do to others you want it done to yourself, and don't hurt anyone. But if somebody comes to hurt you, you have the right to defend yourself by any means necessary, because he didn't have the right to attack me. He violated me. So I got to defend myself. I don't deserve to be violated. You don't have the right to violate me. You're breaking laws. You understand? You don't talk that way to animals, though, because they're animals. They don't have the same conscience, so they don't run by the same laws. But humans, we know instinctively not to hurt each other. That's when somebody gets murdered, when somebody gets killed. Even back then, I used to study the Indians. When somebody in the tribe would kill somebody in the tribe, we got to exile him, or we get rid of him. We chop him. Another tribe attacks our tribe, it's a kill for kill. Same thing happened nowadays. Nothing changed. It is a law of the universe. It's inherent. We don't need it written down. We know it. So imagine if the information that I have gathered through my life, we all just knew that we shouldn't be behaving and shouldn't be putting money such on a high. Money shouldn't even be considered. We should be peaceful beings. We shouldn't do upon to others we wouldn't want done to ourselves. We shouldn't be violating other people. We all have inherent rights. Imagine if we all knew that. That's what common sense means. It's common sense, but common sense ain't common, because the common man don't have no sense. You think these words were just accident? I swear I gotta start looking into the words that I use personally on a daily basis and that people use on a daily basis. And maybe these words are like binding spells, and we don't realize we are literally talking ourselves into hell. But luckily, we're not on hell. We may be hell on earth, but we're not in hell, because I realize, listen, if God is real, God is up there and his brother Satan is down there. We right in the middle. So we here to learn the earth. And when we die, then we face the judgment. Are we going to go up, or are we going to go down? Till then, there's no need. It's funny, because I talk to a lot of religious people, and they talking about, yo, you need God, you need this. I'm thinking in my head, hold on. Why are you trying to connect to a higher level being, when you can't even connect to yourself? You right in the middle, and you trying to elevate to God, bro. It's a reason you have never seen him, or Allah. It's a reason you never heard or seen this man. You don't know this man. It's a reason you're praising this man, because this man is a higher being in your eyes. He is a higher level of consciousness. His power is too great for you to even imagine or see. So why are you trying to connect to that? Connect to yourself. Connect to the earth that he created. That's my way of respecting whoever is up there. I respect myself because you made me. I respect the earth and the food you made for me, so I eat the food designed for me. so I can have the right input, which is going to result in the right output. Then I'm going to realize that everything on the earth is connected. So you claiming God this, God that, Allah this, Allah that, Buddha this, bada that, bada whoosh, bada whoosh. But you still destroying yourself and everything in the earth. So who do you really praise? Because the only destroyer and the deceiver that I know of is down there. I don't want to go. I don't want to burn. Ooh, because my hip been tight lately. That's inflammation. I don't want to burn. Every time I drink, I want water. I don't want to eat. Don't give me no meat. That's blood. That's flesh. That's gonna. My hip. I gotta cut off the. I gotta get out of here because I gotta rejuvenate. I gotta rehydrate, and I'm about to do business, and I'm feeling good. So let me stop talking.